All right. It says we're live. We're live.
Pop up in a minute.
No, it says we're live. We're live right now. We are live. Hey, folks, what's happening? I'm Manny Vitale, host of My Fight Our War and Manny Vitale's Wolfpack. And I'm here with Wonder Dog Susie and, of course, Thing. Oh, man. I hope you guys are having a good day. It's another beautiful day here in Detroit, Michigan. Um, another hot one, but it's a beautiful day. And just sitting here and what's the matter?
It hasn't come up yet. It will. It will. Oh, there it is.
Well, there we are. Yeah, we are officially now we're live because OG said so. But yeah, like I said, hope you guys are having a good day. And I want to definitely give a quick shout out here to all of our friends who are taking part of a march in Washington D.C. For that fentanyl rally. Um, there's just a shitload of people down there, man. Our friend David Riggins, Jared and Brianna, Matt Keegan, Benjamin Lerner, and there's so many more. So they're there right now. Been seeing bits and pieces of it with different shots and live shots coming on, showing the march, showing Matt and Benjamin, singing. So it's a very, thank God, it's a beautiful day there too for the event. And last I saw, they were marching. They were on their way to the Capitol. So God bless them all. And very worthy cause. And they're doing incredible things. So God bless you guys and thank you for all you're doing. And other than that, here in Detroit, we are just kind of chilling, relaxing. I was on earlier and was chit chatting with you guys as far as some of the stuff happening here in Detroit metropolitan area. Mainly, like I said, for me, when I was earlier, was over in Clinton Township at Wolverine Harley Davidson. And what time is it? 5 o'clock. It's actually just finished up now. Wolverine Harley Davidson, as you guys know, I work there. And they on Saturdays have different events. And today was Christmas in July. They raffled off a Serial One pedal assist bike, as well as just the everyday stuff that happens at Wolverine, which means the family there, the employees are just whatever you need as far as whatever department you need help in, you will be taken care of, man. So hopefully, those of you who saw that and were in the area were able to take advantage of that. Other than that, just got done watching our Detroit Tigers win. Actually, this is kind of flow right into where we're going because today, me, Susie the Wonder Dog, OG, and we are discussing stuff with the new and improved, since it's now the group, the page, uh, the Manny Vitale Wolfpack page, or I'm sorry, a group is up and going. I appreciate you guys chiming on and joining and becoming part of our Wolfpack. And as far as getting involved in what we're going to be doing, I did put the title and stuff that we have to do for all our lives, and was basically welcome to the Wolfden. And we're going to be having a little Wolfpack chat, and that is going to be just stuff to celebrate, man. We're just throwing some ideas out there to kickstart this sucker for everybody. And just certain things. These are just suggestions for just this one very small thing would be celebrations. Again, it's going to be whatever you guys want. As I said, this is your show, your thoughts, your ideas. I'm just hosting this sucker and putting in my IT wisdom when needed, which means, hey, something's wrong. What's going on? I don't freaking know. Push this button, twist this, turn that, and bam, it's fixed. But seriously, man, it's your guys' show to discuss the things that are either or. Some things that I said earlier might be bothering you. Other things might be things that have changed in your life for the better that are just something that you want to share with everybody. And so that's what we're going after. And today, we were just sitting here and watching our Detroit Tigers come back in 10 innings and win. So right there, we're celebrating a Detroit, or for all of us Tiger fans, and for those who are not even in Michigan or Detroit that are also fans, we're celebrating that. A few other things. I set a post out before we came on, just to kind of, like I said, to kickstart this sucker and have some fun. For me, I just threw three down there. Was that picture of me in front of my current bike? But I started thinking my first bike was, what did I think it was 2000, or when I got my first Harley. So I got that picture. And then, of course, before that was the picture of the banner and logos that are in concept right now being done. So we're getting that going. So that was July 12th, celebrating that. And then there's a picture I had for me at the gym. And this was back in 90 something, when before I had all new parts, and I was able to, back then, if you told someone you worked out, the first and only thing, what do you bench? What do you bench? What do you bench? And it's still the same today. But, and like I said, this is just funny shit, man. This is, so back then was for the first time, I actually benched 410 pounds, and both my nuts fell off and rolled across the gym. So,
and I posted mine January 1st, 2022. First time I pulled 245 pounds with a deadlift.
There you go. Little Mighty Mouse there. OG, she's all of 4 foot nothing, 5 foot nothing, and she's pulling more weight than a lot of guys at the gym. And I know that because I've seen it firsthand. So stuff like that, man. That's the strong thing. That was the workout thing hand. Yeah, compared to the nice little floaty thing. She's got her hand's got different emotions. So we don't know what we're going to get. But stuff like that, man. Just throw out stuff that, as far as those of you with kids, are you or yourself, your birthdays, anniversaries, wedding anniversaries. You've got your children's first birthday, job promotions.
Have you rode a bike without training wheels?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, what day was it when your little boy, little girl, mommy, daddy, I want these training wheels off, so I could be with the big kids. They seem so insignificant, but they're not, man. These are very important days in our lives that, I don't have any kids or anything like that, but for those of you, I'm sure you remember the day, the date, the time, and all that stuff. For those, let's see. Of course, for the little ones who graduate from pooping in diapers to pooping in a toilet. And then, unfortunately, as you get older, you go from pooping into the toilet back to pooping in our pants. Hey, I was going to say shit happens. But it does. We just revert. We go back to becoming kids again. Yeah, next thing you know, we're just big kids doing stupid shit. And that's why
How things are going for you guys.
My cousin Tony, things are going great, cuz they're going good. And I'm hoping, as you with your situation with your thumb and Laura's knee, sending positive thoughts and prayers to you guys, man. So the next thing we'll be doing is we'll be celebrating your your recovery for your injury and Laura's. So that's going to be on our list. I know it. So these are just like I said, these are just certain things that we are just throwing out there to let you know that this page, this podcast, we are going to take it in every single direction you can imagine. We are going to talk about anything and everything. It's not going to be sitting here discussing stuff that's just going to be, to the serious, to the extreme, where, it's just very intense. There's a time and place for everything. And believe me, I'm not going to ever lose track of that. But at the same time, we got to live our lives, man. And we have to enjoy every single day we have. And that means enjoying our lives and sharing with each other. happy stories. Like I said, these sharing the lovely dog hair that I have flying all around every time I go live. Susie, well, now she's taken over, as you guys have seen on the studio. Susie has now taken over the host chair. So as soon as I get out of this thing and I come in and I'm letting shows download, there she is. You guys saw the picture. She just sits right down. I'm trying to find little headsets for her, get a little microphone for her, and we'll have, what's up with Susie? And you guys could chime in and ask Susie some questions.
Oh, yes, how's your back?
The back is doing fine. It's a slow process, but it's doing good. And, that's another notch that's going to be for celebration. I'll be celebrating going back to work, hopefully in a couple of weeks. I go back to see my doctor on I think it was July 25th. I go in, and this time I'm going to be prepared. Last time was the first time in all my surgeries that I got outsmarted by my doctors, man. And because usually I walk in there and it's funny as shit, man. Going in there, and it's basically a negotiation and a debate. It's like, okay, you talk about surgeries. I mean, OG knows as a OR nurse and being in the field, you have a procedure done. There's a time frame that we are given for this type of surgery. This is what you're looking at. Sometimes, depending on the type, sometimes it's 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6, 8 weeks, whatever it is. And then, of course, the restrictions. Sometimes they don't want you doing anything for weeks at a time so you can heal. Other times they want your ass up and moving. Well, when I go in there and they say, okay, Manny, this surgery here, at first it started out like any other doctor patient relationship. Okay, we want you to do this, this, and this. We don't want you to do this, this, and this. And I just went, oh, okay. And as soon as I walked out, I took my sling off, went home. 2 days later, jumped on my Harley. And that was actually happened after I had one of my rotator cuff surgeries. They had blessing of the bikes. And it was, I think, 2 or 3 days after my rotator cuff surgery. And came home, and from the hospital, it was a beautiful day. And I remember going out there and I was just wiping the bike down, and I immediately got yelled at. What are you doing? I'm just wiping the bike down. And I already had the plan. I was jumping on that sucker. And sure enough, long story short, off to the rally I went. And I was going to say those were in my young, dumb days, but some habits are hard to break. And, so most of the appointments went back and forth to me most of the time, just, whatever they said, just, yeah. And then as soon as I left, I did whatever the hell I wanted. And, you know what, after having, what we come up with 44 surgeries I've had with different replacements in my knee, hip, shoulder, back. And these are all multiple surgeries. I would just go in and just, whatever, and just do whatever the hell I wanted. And doing that, which I definitely don't suggest at all. I am not saying that. Please don't take that the wrong way. But for the stupid shit that I've done and all those times that I did it, to be in the shape that I'm in and the healing process and the rate of healing is just actually pretty freaking amazing. I've been very, very blessed and very lucky. And then again, you push too much. And so what would happen to me then is a lot of the times I would do something, I'd have a surgery, something would come up, and it would just be, just something happened. Unfortunately, it didn't go as planned, and it wasn't the doctor's fault. It wasn't my fault. It was just the injury was so severe that we tried the most not the invasive procedure to go least to the worst. And that's what happened to me a few times, where I had to go back in again, not because of doing anything wrong. It's just because what we were hoping would fix the problem didn't. But
She's here.
Who did?
Carol Payne.
Carol, how you doing, Carol? Thank you for popping on as always. Definitely appreciate you. And Carol, I hope you saw some of the posts and stuff. What we're doing here at the Wolfpack is we are celebrating. We're celebrating anything. And well, we were just talking about for little kids, as parents, as taking care of youngsters, of course, changing the diapers and all that shit. See how I did that? See how I did that? And all of a sudden you get to potty training. And these are wonderful things that I never had to deal with. I don't have any kids. But Carol, we were talking about that. Stuff is
Stuff to celebrate.
Stuff to celebrate. So we're celebrating going from pooping in diapers to pooping in a toilet. And as I told OG, the older we get, we go back to pooping in our pants. So if you have a date, something that's special, let us know, man, whether it's your birthday or milestones, a child's first birthday, the 16th birthday, 21st birthday. My Aunt Barb, who unfortunately passed away not too long ago. God, what was Aunt Barb, 106? Or I mean, these just certain things that stick out in our minds that we would like to share with people. So and this is anybody, if it's about yourself, your family, your friends, coworkers, whatever it may be. And then again, whatever the occasion might be, job promotion, or what, the day you've said, screw this job sucks and you quit. I mean, celebrate that, whatever it is, man. And so let's throw some dates out there, what it was, that you celebrated and or plan on celebrating, and go from there, man. Just fun stuff.
What's the day you bought your bike that's downstairs? April something.
Well, this bike, yeah. But I was talking about my very first Harley that I got was back in the late 90s. This one, the Street Glide, is a little over a year and a half. I think it was April of 23. So, yep. So that right there, as well as, let's see what else we got.
Moving to your new apartment. February.
Yeah, I mean, just Susie's first, well, who knows? But you get the point. So these are things that, and it's not just today. I mean, these are things that we could just throw out every day. Throw them out, man. If if it's things that are, and the celebration, the ideas are endless. They're endless.
Graduations.
Yeah. I mean, you name it, and then it just goes from there. It's an open table, man. It's open mic. It's the things, and then again, we can have issues if you have something that is a very specific issue that's been on your mind, as I said from the beginning. And it's more than just throwing a couple dates out there. If this is something that's a serious issue, whether seriously a good thing or unfortunately maybe not the best of things, hit me up on Messenger. Let me know what it is. We'll discuss it. We'll go over it. And we could post that out there and have people respond to that as well. Or another option is just what I said. This is your guys' show. The Wolfpack is your show. It's your thoughts, your ideas, to bring these ideas to everybody out there. Because the last thing that anyone needs to think is, man, I'm on my own on this. You know what?
20 wants to know how your trip was.
The trip was great, Tony. I had a real good time. Everything went there's a celebration right there, man. There was not one thing that went wrong. I am not a traveler by any means. People that are doing a lot of traveling, OG traveled all around the world, and and then just family and friends who've done a lot of traveling, whether it's just personal or business, whatever it is. You hear horror stories about flights being delayed, flights being canceled, lost luggage. I mean, you name it. You get to the destination, your luggage didn't make it. You go to the rental car. Oh, sorry, there's no more rental cars. You go to the hotel. Oh my God, we don't have any rooms. Anything and everything that could go wrong goes wrong. As far as what happened in Connecticut, New York, it was absolutely smooth. It was just a great time. It was a little bit bummed because it was what, a week ago, and that's when we were in our upper 90s and humid as hell here. So I was thinking, well, maybe depending on the weather, um, get there and actually do a little bit of sightseeing. And that didn't happen because it was just as hot there. I mean, walking out of the airport to the next day, from the hotel to the studio back to the car. I mean, it just took your breath away. Um, but other than that, the flight was on time. The flight was smooth as could be. The car get there and waiting and waiting and finally get everything taken care of. And even that, I mean, the time frame was no big deal. So we're walking towards the lot for the car, and as we're walking, I'm looking around, and we'll get back to the airport and, and the experience as far as White Plains Airport. But get to the lot, and I'm looking around, and all you see, obviously, is cars. So I'm like, well, oh gee, what the hell? What kind of car? I don't know. You mean you don't know? What kind did they tell you? Oh, it's got 4 tires and 2 doors. Seriously? I'm like, oh shit. We're walking, and she goes, I think it's in 119 is the slot, 119. And I'm like, oh man. So I'm looking, and I could see the numbers on the fence, which were parked right next to the planes. They had the planes parallel parked with the rental cars. And so I'm looking, all of a sudden I see around this one car, and there's this car by itself. I'm like, no, it was a 2024 Mustang, black, black on black, black. I mean, this thing was badass. I couldn't believe it. First thing I did was think of my dad. Uh, my dad worked for Ford Motor Company for 30 years, man, as an electrician. And he had a placard in the garage that said Ford parking only. And first I had to call Ma. So you're not going to believe this. Took a picture of it, sent it. So that was cool as hell. Um, but yeah, man, I mean, the everything was such a good time about that trip, and definitely looking forward to doing a lot more. And I go back to a little over a year ago when I met OG in the gym, and we were discussing my fighter war. And then when she not only became a member, a family member, but then took over as admin, and just, because I basically said, I need help, man. I don't. My organizational skills, I have none, just as well as my IT skills. And I said, I need help basically every day with a list of what do I do when I open my eyes, man. It was just nonstop the way that this thing was growing. And she took that on and has just done incredible work, man. And I remember telling her, I said, this is gonna be this is just the beginning, because I remember telling her at the gym, I said, you know what, I want to take this to just unbelievable levels. I said, one day you're going to be sitting there taking information from hosts of shows that are out of state, flights, hotels, car rentals, all this different stuff. And this was a little over a year ago. And I was damn serious about it. But at the same time, I was just getting going here. So it was kind of like joking, but not really joking. And as I said, the week before we left for New York, I remember just going, remember when you first came on as the admin and we were talking about these things? I go, it's happening. And it was an amazing feeling. And we're continuing to grow. So I definitely appreciate it. And we have, I remember also saying that I wanted to start pushing towards doing public speaking. Lo and behold, this coming Wednesday, we're meeting with Kate from Fan, and I'm doing a speaking engagement with them in September. So these things are coming true. They're happening. And it's not just because luck of the draw, man. It comes with a lot of hard work and a lot of people's help. And I appreciate it all so much. So good times. And a lot.
Celebrate the airport.
Oh yeah, yeah. So as I said, I am not much of a traveler. I didn't realize that Detroit Metropolitan Airport. I mean, obviously, I've been there many times, dropping people off, and a few times I've flown. But obviously, it's a big airport. But that's all I've known. So I didn't know like big or smaller. Airports are airports. Just like the time's the same everywhere. Airports are the same everywhere. Well, that's not the case, and I say that because flew into White Plain, New York. We land, get off the plane, going down that little skywalk, whatever the hell it's called, and come around the corner, and all you see is this room with kids laying in the middle of the floor, like right in front of you. And okay, and I'm looking around, and just it was maybe shit, a couple 100 yards this way, that way, and every which way, and that was about it. So I was like, okay. And I knew it was going to be something when you walk from the, how did that work? When, oh no, okay. So that's when we landed. We had to do all that shit. But so I'm still thinking, okay, this is just part, this is a corner. This is a little tiny corner of the airport as we're leaving to the car rental and everything else, and then just left. Because I was just excited to be there, wasn't really paying attention. So it's not like I was looking around. Well, after the show and the last day, heading back to the airport, I'm looking on the way there and I was like, where's the rest of the airport, man? And I remember seeing like a fence, a regular freaking ass fence where I go, there's a return lot for the cars. Was that the return valet for the planes? I mean, they look like they just backed them up into a parking spot for a car. And I was like, what the hell? And she's laughing away. So we get there and walking, here at Detroit Metro, I mean, you got terminals after, all the different airlines. Here, you got this one sliding door. It opens up. I walk in. There's this one lady with this vest on standing there. She goes, where are you going or where you heading or something like that? And show her the ticket and the boarding stuff. And she looks and she goes, down here, go to your left, right down here. And she goes, see the lady in the blue shirt. What? See the lady with the blue? Sure as shit. We're walking down and there's this like 20-year-old girl sitting there on her cell phone looking around, and she had a blue shirt on. So we walk up to her. It's like, yeah, we're looking for this. And she goes, oh yeah, just go through that line right there. And it looked like a fast food drive-through, man. I was like, okay. Walk through. That was security. And so yeah, we go through that into this other very small room. And at Metro, there's gates and stores and restaurants and this and that. And here, it's one room with those chairs that are back to back. So you're sitting down, there's a row this way, and then there's on each side, so facing each other. And there's all of those are full. People are laying on the floor. People are laying on the windowsill. People are laying everywhere. And I was like, huh. So, fine. Yeah, I mean, it was a trip. And there was a total of 4 gates at the airport. 4 gates. Detroit Metro, I think we said 100, like almost 150 gates at Metro Airport. White Plain, New York Airport, 4 gates. And but I tell you what, I had a riot. I was just like, oh, okay. This is yeah. I mean, it was fun. It was a learn. I had a great time. And like I said, we went there because I was very fortunate and was asked to be a guest on Ian Bick's show, and that went great. Every part of the trip. So, Tony, the answer to your question was it was fantastic. And I'm not a complete idiot. I know that the next time I fly, there probably, who knows what'll happen. But you know what? It was all fun. It was all good. So, what else we got? Hmm.
Well,
We went through the celebration stuff.
yeah.
Again, that's just that's just kicking the tires, man. That's just to get the thoughts, for all of you guys flowing as far as how I want this to go. For it could be as serious as it needs to be, or as lighthearted as possible, and everywhere in between. That's exactly what this is. And you know, by no means is it going to be a free for all, though. I mean, this isn't going to be some bullshit, joke. Trust me on that. Even though that this is open to a very wide span of concerns, comments, funny stuff, not so funny stuff, serious stuff, anything and everything. The bottom line is still just like with My Fight or War is if you cross some lines, then they'll be dealt with at that time. So basically, I guess we never had any rules or anything like that for for the Wolfpack. Here's the rules: don't be an asshole, or I take that back. You can, I mean, but towards other people, don't be disrespectful. Okay. These are things that I can't believe that we have to discuss.
About the religion and politics.
But oh yeah, and that's another thing too. I did say, that we are going to discuss anything and everything. You know what? When it comes to certain things, and this is something that my dad said to me one time, and since my dad said it, I'm going to hold true to it. He said, "Son, when you're dealing with family and friends, you don't talk politics and religion." So that is going to be on the list. I am not going to turn this into uh, uh, any type of political rant
Yeah.
or a religious tirade. It ain't happening because there, I don't care how structured we try to make it. It's just a recipe for disaster. So I hope I didn't offend anyone about doing that. And if that causes you not to want to be part of this, then you know what? I'm sorry. You know what? But no, I'm not, because
Find a different church.
this is something that is going to be a positive, a positive, what the hell's the word I'm looking for?
How about a positive experience every time?
That's the word, experience. See, I was looking for something. That's why OG and things around. Positive experience for all of us. And one can lead to the other. And unfortunately, the other could lead back to the one. So the bottom line is we are going to be constructive here in what we do. And that doesn't mean hurting people, being bullies.
Celebrate life.
This is all, yeah. And yeah, I mean, there are, there's good and there's bad. There's happy, there's sad. There's all this shit and everything in between. So we don't have to knowingly throw something in there that we know is going to be a negative experience. It ain't going to happen. But other than that, I mean, sports. I mean, vacations, vacation getaways. Maybe discussing, some of the places that you've gone with your families, some hot spots that are on your bucket list. Um, these are just, again, I'm just throwing ideas out there. But the thing is, the ideas are yours and yours alone, just like this show. Once you come on here as a guest, you are basically, we're co-hosts. That's what we are. We are going to sit there. You're going to be on. I'm going to be on. OG is going to be floating around with thing, and Susie's going to be laying on my foot, and we're just going to let it rip, and we're going to have a good time. So that's
Carol, what's on your bucket?
that's it in a nutshell. Well, that's everybody. Carol and cousin Tony, and so far we got Carol and cousin Tony and OG. And anyone else, man. Again, if there's just something that you want to throw out there as far as a special date occasion, throw that out there. If there's something like OG just said on a bucket list, hey, listen, you know what I want to do? I want to go to Detroit and see Susie the Wonder Dog and be a guest on My Fight or War. I want to go to Detroit, Michigan, and see Susie the Wonder Dog and be a guest on Manny Vitale's Wolfpack. Now, I know that's got to be high on all of these people's bucket list. I mean, bucket.
Careful.
See that? Buh, buh,
But
buh, buh. That was a show.
Terry's
Jeff
on.
Terry, how come why are you getting this before me? I'm not getting this loading. Terry, how are you, man? I've missed you, Terry. I'm glad that you're doing well and everything, but definitely missed chatting with you. That you are always in our thoughts and prayers, man. You, your family, and everyone else. I've sent you a couple of you through Messenger. We've been keeping in touch, so I'm glad all's well with you, Terry, and thank you for all your help that you give us, and really appreciate it. So I'm glad that you're here. Thanks. What else we got?
Well, tell Terry what we're celebrating. Anything to us?
Yeah, Terry, we're today. Well, actually, it's just not today. It's if you've seen the post that I threw out there before we came live, just for different ideas and stuff that we're going to do, is if you've got something on your bucket list that you want to talk about, if you have a something personal, a date that is important to you that gonna be celebrating, or already did celebrate, let us know what it was. Well, as we said, birthdays, anniversaries, job promotions, your kids' first dump in a toilet,
She's got
grandkids. I mean, first birthdays anything and everything. We are just letting it rip and just having a good time, Terry. And this is going to be what I want. Oh, that's right, to come up with times as far as, well, first we got to get some people to come on the show to start a show. So, but what we're going to do is, yeah, tomorrow, and this is going to be on My Fight Our War, is at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We have Pam Furlan from Sassy Sober is going to be my guest at 6 p.m. And we are going to talk about Pam and her life and the things that kind of took her down the road that she was on, and the path that she's on now, and the people that she's helping. So, please check it out tomorrow. My Fight Our War with Pam from Sassy Sober. And yeah, it's going to be a good show. She's doing a lot and she's helping a lot of people along the way, just like all of us, man, just like all of you guys. I've said it more than once, and I'll never stop saying it. None of this would be possible without all of you guys. And again, our brothers and sisters in Washington, D.C., can't say enough about them, man. The dedication, the hard work, the organization of getting that rally together, the people together, the times. And again, we got David Riggins, and Jared and Brianna and Matt Keegan and Benjamin Lerner, along with all the others that are there during this march in Washington. So let's keep all of those in our thoughts and prayers for a nice, safe, peaceful rally, and then go from there.
Regarding fentanyl, regarding fentanyl.
Yeah, it's the fentanyl march regarding just bringing it to awareness to, just takes that one time, man. And unfortunately, like they said, when you're dealing with drugs and addiction, man, it's like Russian roulette. It's just that, it doesn't matter if it's your first time or your 100th time or whatever, it can be your last time. So, like I said, hats off to all of them in Washington right now for what they're doing. So God bless you guys. I have been in contact as far as some guests coming on back to My Fight Our War. Myself and Matt Keegan have been talking, and when he gets back, and we are going to be scheduling to have Matt come on. I have reached out to Benjamin as well, as well as some other people. And please keep messaging on Messenger for My Fight Our War if you would like to be a guest on the show and talk about your story, or maybe you're a family member, a friend of somebody who is dealing with addiction. Your stories are just as important, man. And I'm not going to say more or less, they're just as important because, you're going to be helping so many people who, maybe have a loved one who is dealing with the things that you've been dealing with, that your advice and your help and compassion and understanding is something that this is so new to them, that they're just blindsided. I mean, OG here, here she is, a nurse, and she had no freaking idea that her brother was having issues with alcohol until it was too late. And this is a trained professional. So, everyday, lay people without medical experience, or people who don't have drugs, alcohol, huge in their life, it's easy to, miss things if you don't know what to look for. So for all of those family members, friends who are dealing with people who are, sons, daughters, husbands, wives, whatever, friends that are dealing with, with addiction, please, I want to hear from you too, to come on. And so you could share your experience of how it is that you can better relate, when dealing with a loved one, who is suffering from addiction. By your words and, your experience, the people that you could help is just priceless. So please feel free to reach out anytime, um, at My Fight Our War on Messenger. Leave your name, what it is exactly, as far as if it's you or loved one, and I'll get back to you. And man, and we'll do it. We will do it. Everyone who comes through Messenger that wants to come on, like I said, we will talk to make sure it's something that you feel comfortable with. I will never put someone in a position, um, where, you're going to be, I mean, I shouldn't say that, because everyone's different when it comes to, unless you've been doing this for a long time and you got a camera shoved in your face, a mic shoved in your face, and all of a sudden you're being asked very, very personal and hurtful questions. I mean, it seems easy. It really does when you sit there and you watch other people. But then all of a sudden, when you look, and instead of seeing somebody else hosting and someone else as a guest, now all of a sudden you're that person and you're being asked these questions. It's a totally different game, man. Um, like I said, I will always treat all the guests with respect. Um, I'm not going to sugarcoat shit, though. I mean, there are times where there's going to be issues, because when you're dealing with addiction, there's no sugarcoating that. I mean, because addiction is not sugarcoating anything. I mean, it is ugly. It's, there's times where, with addiction, you have those wonderful, wonderful stories of recovery and families getting mended together, jobs, everything falls back into place with this beautiful ending of this story. That's great. And we are definitely going to, highlight that. Unfortunately, it all doesn't go that way. As we know, there's a whole nother part of dealing with addiction, and that is a very ugly, mean, vicious side. And in that side, people die. And sometimes they die very, very terrible deaths. And I'm not going to sugarcoat that either, because that would be giving a disservice, a disrespect for those who have lost their lives. It would be disrespecting the ones who are sharing their experience. And I am not going to do that, because it needs to be dealt with the same intensity as the other victory story as well. And so, that's what we're going to do as far as.
That's my fight.
That's with My Fight Our War. And that will always stay that way. Manny Vitale's Wolfpack is exactly what we discussed earlier. It's exactly what you saw in that post earlier. It's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a whole lot of fun, and a whole lot of love and understanding and compassion. There's going to be tears from hitting some subjects that are pretty, hard to deal with, and it's going to be tears from laughing our asses off. So a little bit of everything. But other than that, man, You got anything else there? Thing? GA? Huh?
No, it looks like maybe we should wrap up.
Yeah. You know what? We're gonna just throw this out there. With My Fight or War, we still have it scheduled for every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And again, that's not written in stone because we have people, different time zones. We have people with, of course, their jobs. Things happen, things come up, and we'll definitely accommodate it. But I just want to have some type of, um, yeah, where it's going to be some type of regularity where you're going to see on this date at this time, you're going to expect this. And that's what I want to do to get that normalcy going in there, that repetitive. Okay, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. Now, along the way, we're going to be doing live shows in between, whether it's in the morning, afternoon, who knows when. Like I said, with me, I'll be walking around. I got an idea. Hit this button. What's it say? Live. Hey, where you at? In the shitter. Yeah.
We're trying to do garage talk, but it's too hot.
Yeah, just like today, joking around about garage talk, but it's 90 some degrees, and it's 100 some in the garage. And no. So it's Wolf Den in the Wolfpack in the Wolf Den with Susie the Wonder Dog, where it's air conditioning and it's comfortable. And so that's that, folks. We will, as the Wolfpack progresses and we start getting the flow of more people coming on with different ideas, I would like to have another specific date and a time, just like with My Fight or War on Sundays at 6 o'clock. I would love to have whatever date at this date and time for Manny Vitale's Wolfpack, where the guest is going to be blah, 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 and we're going to discuss this, and we'll do that. And we'll have that repetitive show coming on so, it can get some normalcy to it, which is going to be very weird saying the word normalcy when it comes to anything that I'm part of, because it usually doesn't work out that way. So other than that, man, you got anything before we sign off? Any words of wisdom? Let's see, any teeny tiny little words of wisdom, or the clip?
We just want you to celebrate today, celebrate the weekend. If it's hot, stay cool. If it's cold, get some warmth. Enjoy yourself.
You're actually trying to throw emotion into your hand movements. Did you notice that? As you're talking with your hand, it's like, okay, the water's flowing. It's a beautiful, calm, relaxing day. Okay, what's anger? Okay, happy hand. Where's that? Sad. Oh, God. Okay, we'll end this now because God knows what could happen. All right, man. I love you guys. Thank you for everything, for your support, your motivation, being part of this just incredible family. What you've done with My Fight or War and Manny Vitale's Wolfpack. This is just the beginning. So
see you tomorrow at 6.
Tomorrow, 6 o'clock with Pam from Sassy is Sober. Until then, I love you guys. Keep fighting a good fight.